Hello everyone, welcome back to more MoteMancer. I got the absolute basics going here on Earth. I have made contact with fire, but all I'm doing is grinding it into dust so far. But that's fine. That's fine. This automation. So the thing about slabs. Let's talk for a minute about slabs. Oh, so what I was gonna say about slabs. Where's the portal? Over here, of course. Follow the roots. Is that I don't really need them for anything except to make streamways, right? And this setup was so that I could import streamways. So, or import water, which I could turn into streamways. And so if I want to be have this plane be mostly untouched by my crummy little salt slabs, I'd like to start importing the elemental water and turning all the slabs into streamways now, if I can. So, in order to do that, I need to make a chest. I don't know, this one? And, also this, I guess? Because if I just, point some grippers at the portal chest as is, it'll pick up elemental water, but it'll also pick up random garbage. There's no filter grippers that I'm aware of in this game. I certainly don't have access to them yet. So I need only one... Are we about done here? Okay, looks like it. I need to have just water in... There it is. I need to have just water in here if I want to accomplish something. If I want to export it. So let's take another chest here and just by hand dump all the mana leaves, mana pools that I brought in here in case something went wrong with power production on the life plane. That hasn't happened yet, but it may still happen. Don't I have... I guess I moved everything, huh? Okay, so now this should be filling up with water. Yes, it is. Good. A very wet chest. I guess, actually, a good use case for a Titan Gripper? Question mark? Oh, no power. Yeah, that's true. Now, this only fills the near side, is that true? But it doesn't come anywhere close to blanketing a whole streamway, or saturating, I guess. Oh, hang on. The whole point of a Titan Gripper is to do this. Does this actually fill both sides? Why? Okay, it only fills the near side, but then if the near side is full, it fills the far side? Is that how this works? Nope. There just was some stuff on the far side from an earlier setup. Okay, fine. Too far, too far. Stop there. Really should have stopped before that, actually. I should have... I don't know. Just run... it's all a mess, as always, of course. Streamways take 3 water and 1 slab, and they take 1 second. Okay, so let's build, I don't know. I should really just direct insert these slabs into the streamway. They're the stream weaver. Which I probably need to build one of, actually. I guess this is fine. That's powered, really? No, it is. This isn't. No, it is from this. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So let's just run this. God, it's such a mess. Like so. This is how I should have placed the streamways to begin with. Excavate again, please. All right. So we're gonna have to like split off all these resources to somewhere at some point, I guess. I still have a couple Titan grippers lying around. Yeah, I mean, I could probably do this with smaller grippers and still meet throughput demands, but doesn't quite fit, eh? And I don't actually have roots nearby. There, now I do. I think just this is fine. Do I have a big chest? I kind of like big chests for streamways. Take this one. I'm using up all my elemental earth that I have in my pockets, I assume, but like I'm on the whole plane full of it, right? It shouldn't be a huge deal. I just have to set up binding for it, which I haven't done yet. Okay. Streamway production is in full swing. We actually need more inserters or grippers to empty this, huh? Because this thing is... its output buffer was blocking things. It still seems to be. Really? I mean, I guess it runs really fast. Maybe I should have used the Titan gripper here as well. I mean, this is the same as just the 2 reaching grippers I had, but now I can put a 3rd in. How on earth is this production outpacing these grippers? That's a surprise to me. But that's fine. I mean, really, the salt prisms are the bottleneck. I think. Alright, so we're building streamways again, and I can finally do what I should have done 100 years ago. Put streamways on one instead of belts, and now I'll no longer be tempted to ever put down a belt or a slab again. Okay, great. Now, I would like to start making elemental binders, I think. Well, okay. That's not quite true necessarily. What I don't want to run out of grippers, right? I have a solid handful of simple ones, and I'm pretty much out of my advanced earth ones. So I need... How's this doing, by the way? It's still pretty small. At some point, I want to automate production of salt grippers so that I can turn them into earth grippers. But I guess at the moment, I don't really need to automate salt grippers because I have plenty of them. I need to start setting up elemental binding. For fire and earth, really. Okay. What else is in my hotbar that I don't really need? I don't need these underground slabs anymore. I don't use slabs. Go away. I need underground streamways, which I have a million of. Okay. So, if we want to bind elements, we need salt and or ether for the two things we're gonna... You know what? Let me... this is fine. I'll leave this as a monument to salt, I guess. Well... Yeah, whatever. It would be fun to make fire first, I think. Because I would start learning new research. And the reaching grippers, I need to automate production of normal grippers before I start getting these. But I guess I want to be able to build them by hand, right? And for that, I do need elemental earth. So I think I'm actually in more of a hurry to automate the elemental earth than I am to dive into the new fire stuff. So I need to pull out the ether here. Elemental binders, I own 0. I mean, I feel like I should be dreaming bigger than setting up this first tiny little mall that I will surely abandon in favor of just building the same thing again somewhere else, but bigger. But at the moment, I don't have materials to build bigger stuff because I came through the portal without a bunch of salt tools. So, I don't know. Elemental binder. Yeah, let's... just put it right here? I guess. Well, these are actually both powered already by the bloom, but I need the grippers are going to need to be powered, right? So this isn't quite right. I want... like this. Oops, I started binding fire before. Oh, this doesn't make any sense! Fire doesn't want ether. Okay, cease this. Now I have salt and ether. I'm even stupider. Okay, well, let's take the salt away, I guess. And I guess since the fire is right here, I guess I'll just make fire. Why not? Which is going to need salt. This ether is not going this way. It's going over there. Are you guys okay? There we go. So now I have small amounts of elemental fire being produced. That's cool. Everybody's happy about that. God, this looks so atrocious. Okay. I'll even do it over here. Now, like, this is no longer extensible, but this is all just a setup to get me learning the very basics of fire, I hope. I hope this does not become, like, the research base. So these salt prisms... I'm sure there's a million things I need to do with them. But one of those things is fire research. What am I doing in this space? Salt and ether, isn't that like a... What does that do at a tinker's table? That's a Streamweaver. It doesn't do anything. Okay. And having both of these merged here means it's basically impossible to pull just one of them off into some building. Because you don't set recipes on the production buildings. And I assume most things I could build here, like, that could take, like, let's say I wanted to build chests. I could say, oh, I'll put pedestals in, And they'll take the salt off. But then, of course, they would also take the ether off and make grippers. Oh, this actually does use underground slabs. So I do actually have some use for slabs until such time as I automate these, huh? Okay, well, I guess that's actually not so hard to do. My inventory's full. Don't tell me. I know. I know. So I was imagining I could build something here. That's where this hand is going. This gripper. But it doesn't actually work because it's adjacent to the Tinker's table, right? There's no room for another gripper there. Do I have pedestals lying around? Yeah. Just pop one there to be a place for this stuff to stand for a second. Good. Okay. So that's underground slabs, which I can use to make stream undergrounds, although I have a million of these and I don't use so many of them. Okay, this is filling up. That's great. I just think there should be something I can do with this line before I decommission it. The problem is I don't really know. Because here, the only like further processing I can do with those is turn them into grindstones or pedestals, which care whether they have ether or salt. Here, I could put in pedestals, but then ether or salt will make a difference. I guess you could make collectors out of it, right? That would be interesting. I don't have those automated anywhere yet, I assume. No. What would... How difficult would that be? The way I have things set up, maybe not the easiest. Not the hardest either, though, right? I could just... As long as I don't care about throughput. Like, I don't need this to be the biggest factory in the world. There you go, right? Oh no, it's not correct. Because it doesn't know that I want it to use the salt crystals. It may just decide, oh look, salt and ether, let me make more salt crystals for you. Right? Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Alright, forget that. You're all fired. really don't want to set up... I don't know. I can set up primary early fire research here. It's excusable, right? Surely I won't stick here forever. I'll have an abandoned area just like I do in the Plane of Life, where around the portal there's just kind of an abandoned mess. And it's totally fine. That's no problem. I'm out of roots! I forgot. I have some elemental life lying around. I assume I can make more of these. Okay, we are learning about fire now. This stuff's still going? It's very slow, but like that's okay. I haven't seen it move from 205 for a while. I hope the life plane is okay. This one is paused intentionally. Earth and Might I should be making progress on. Where's this reach? Oh, that's from the water one, huh? We're at 91. Are we making further progress? Doesn't... Oh, there's 92. Okay. Yeah, it's slow. Earth and Might not progressing is a little worrying, but I think it's basically because Titan Grippers are super expensive and I don't have a lot of throughput on that research area. Okay, let's also... get binding on Earth going, which requires this ether. And there's elemental Earth. Oh, not anywhere. I'm making elemental Earth, of course. These are motes of Earth, though. Not so easy to get them in, is it? Okay, what if I did this? Okay, fire! We're learning all about fire. I can make... stuff. So what can I make? Molten Anvil, Lava Barrier, Fire Wire. Molten Anvil seems like it should be a better Tinker Table or something? Or the... yeah. Okay. And the other... okay, just click here. Fire. Show me fire. Fire wire. Transfers power between nearby fire wires. Okay. How do I get power? Lava barrier. A section of wall to enclose a pool of power generating lava. So I heard something about this, like people talking about, oh, you build like pools of lava with lava barriers. I didn't really understand the details. I was trying to not get too spoiled on what's happening in other elements. Huh. Well, let's build like 3 of these and see what the deal is with them. Ta-da! Now what? It accepts elemental fire as a reagent, huh? So if I did this, this would be a power generator, I suppose. So it's filling up with elemental fire. What, is it doing anything? Does it have an area of 0 so it doesn't produce anything? Because I made it so small? Do I need more of these? I mean, I'm not looking at the moment to, like, replace... Okay, yeah, you do. It does need to be bigger. I'm not looking to replace my life-based power production, really. So this is Fire's version of a mana cultivator, right? But it sure is simpler. You don't have to make leaves. You can just feed in elemental fire. And I guess the bigger this pool is, the more power it makes? Question mark? I don't know. I wish there were like... Well, maybe there is. Nope. Not really any information there about... Oh, when I deleted one section, the entire stored amount of elemental fire all fell out. Huh. So this is sort of a unit of some kind? You can't just like plop down another power generator next to it. You have to build out the area you want to begin with, maybe? Well, I don't know. And fire wires? So these, I guess, are instead of roots, right? How does... Dun, dun, dun. They're connected. Okay. Interesting. So, do these then connect to everything that's within their coverage radius, basically? They can reach further than that. Ah, it lights... They have to have overlapping coverage radiuses. So here it won't connect. Here it will. I see. So these are much more like Factorio's power poles than the root network is, because they are literally just power poles, and you just place... They take up one cell, and they power stuff around them, and the wires connecting them to the next power pole don't take up space. Okay, cool. Interesting. Doesn't seem useful at the moment. What's the... Oh, the next research is just the same stuff. It's being done... Okay. Lava generators. Place a pedestal next to lava, which I assume is what these lava barriers are creating, to generate extra mana. Meteor swarm. Clear away entropy and increase heat in lava generators. Okay. And then we get to the fire prism stuff. So obviously it wants us to automate fire wires and lava barriers. Lava pedestals. It seems like with power from the life plane, I really don't need to mess with this lava barrier mechanic yet for anything. Well, but this increases heat in lava generators. I don't even know what a lava generator is. This must do something. So, I think I understand a little bit more. This, well, no. I thought what I was about to say is it seems like this doesn't actually generate power. It generates lava, and then there's other fire things that use lava as a resource to do things, right? To generate mana, to whatever else. But no, it looks like this is generating enough power to fuel its inserter. Its gripper. Because nothing... This doesn't produce power, or consume, I assume. Yeah. So it consumes 5... Yeah, okay, so this looks like it might be real. Because it's generating 90 power, it says, from burning this element. So Molten Core, I don't think gave me access to anything new. It's just like a step on the way, right? Yeah. Fire Prism and Cinder Forge will be like the greenhouse equivalent for fire, right? Or no, Molten Anvil is the greenhouse equivalent. I didn't realize greenhouse was so early in the life tech tree. That it was there's 2 tiers of building, production building for each thing, as far as I can tell, right? The basic one, and then the advanced one, and then down here these are the 2 element crafters, I guess. Huh. So we're learning now about fire prisms, right? Yeah, and that'll take a little while. In the meantime, there's this ether coming down here that I wanted to use to make elemental earth. But I struggled a bit with how to route the elemental earth in. I built this and then I kind of like wandered off and did something else. I guess this is sort of a fine approach. Not the most beautiful. Hello. Let's make a little more space, I guess. Didn't leave myself a lot of room for undergrounds doing it this way, did I? That's better. Now this all assumes that I have a single stream of inputs, but the ether is actually over here, and I can't, well, I mean, I can, it's just ugly to merge it in on this side. Now I can get the outputs, which frankly, I mean, just want to go into a chest or something at the moment, because I'm not automating production of Earth stuff yet. I just want to be able to make more reaching grippers. Power production is still astronomical. I saw the dev mention that it is... I don't know if it is planned or was planned, but like... I think the dev is right that you should make this change, but like in the early access they have not done it yet. The portal that has this like chest and power conduit kind of mean that if you solved power production on the life plane, it's like trivialized forever on every plane. You can just run routes through, right? And so something that they wanted to do, but for early access wanted to let people play around more with like planes, not just early access, but like in general the early phases of the game's release. Let people play with the mechanics and then decide to like make it harder. Anyway, point is, they wanted to make it so that you don't get access to these for free. You have to like feed in a keystone and then they'd be active for a minute or something like that. So that it's kind of more of a late game thing to actually have resources moving from one plane to another. And you're kind of more on your own on each plane at the beginning. It seems to me, though, that you could just automate keystone production before you step across planes, and then, yeah, there's a drain on resources, but it's pretty small compared to the advantage of not having to build like all this infrastructure on the new plane, right? But, I mean, at the moment, it's free, and so I don't really have to engage at all with Fire's power generation mechanics, for example. It seems like lives are better, so... Well, not quite true. The power poles seem way better than roots, right? Is that true? I think so. Because you get basically blooms that are 1 by 1 instead of like they're radius 0 instead of radius 1, I guess. They take up 1 tile instead of 7. And they power about as much, although I guess a little less. And they don't require running routes through anything. So they're better at reaching long distances. They're better at feeding cramped areas, except for rampant bloom, which means that, like, I don't know, I can put these two quite far apart. Although I think if I just used, like... assuming I had fire power, I could put a pole here and like a pole here or something. And it would just be... it would power everything with less investment. I could squeeze these two closer together, get rid of this bloom, and just have like 2 power poles. And these look way cheaper than blooms, I assume, right? 3 of an element and 10 ether? That is sort of a lot. But this is way more, right? 5 of an element. Oh, no. 8 of an element and 7 combined ether plus salt, I guess. So I guess they're similarly expensive. Fire wires might be a bit cheaper. But... and mana roots? Fairly cheap, I guess. This is basically 13 raw costs. And this is only for... no. 6.5. So a fire wire costs as much as like 2 mana roots. But it can span a much greater distance, right? And it obviates the need for mana blooms. So that seems like what fire brings to the table in the current power situation. Now, the thing is, firewires only connect to other firewires, so I can't just, like, put one here and join these 2 networks. What I've heard from the Discord is that mana pools are kind of the universal bridge. They can accept power from any kind, and they can discharge into any kind. So if you had, like, a life network producing a lot of power, you could dump that into a mana pool and have a fire network consuming from that mana pool. That set of mana pools, I guess, right? And that would be a way that you could use life production and fire distribution, which seems nice. Might be a thing to do someday. Okay, let me just grab all this garbage and make 100 reaching rippers, please. What else are we doing right now? I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that wants to be automated someday, obviously. We want a bunch more resources. We want to understand what this is. It seems like it's growing quite slowly. That's what I was led to expect, is that it would expand by 1 tile per hour, roughly, until it reached some predefined limit. And this appeared here, not directly on the rift I started farming, but in the general neighborhood. Oh, actually... there's a question. Did we get another rift up here? I don't see one. Okay. Interesting. Don't know what to make of that. Reach is going so slow. Oh, wait, no, wait. Which... this is the one that was at 205 earlier. It's 271. So it's happening. No rush. I'm not in a hurry on that. Maybe what I should do... I mean, so, okay. I could automate fire wires and lava barriers to get this stuff. None of it seems especially urgent. Well, actually, movement speed would be quite nice. The other thing is I could start automation of fire prisms, which I can't build yet, but as soon as I get the tech, I could just, like, fire it off. Or it could start building it immediately. So, let me just confirm. I need a bunch of elemental fire. Oh. I've got a backlog. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Where even is the production of molten anvils in this backlog? Boy, I really should figure out how to automate pedestals with salt here. Or, well, pedestals and then grippers. Because building reaching grippers by hand is from moats is extremely slow. What is it making slabs for? Slabs and collectors? What? Oh, to make a tinker's table? Slabs and grindstones. Okay. Sure. On the other hand, I don't want to devote a ton of effort to laying out this initial, because this just can't be my main fire research base. It's way too cramped. It doesn't have good future planning. It's building all kinds of non-fire related junk cluttering up the area, right? These glow at night, that's nice. Okay, show me molten anvils, please. Thermal tower. Interesting. So this is like the lava bloom or mana bloom equivalent for firepower, I guess. Even though fire wires are already doing a lot of what mana blooms do, I guess this is going to be a large area. It says large, right? So, okay. Okay, here's another question. I still don't really understand how Riptide works. So let's say I blow this away. It's going to come back pretty quick, right? What is this? Oh, these are like skeletons or something? Indicating that entropy is claiming this area, maybe? Yeah, I mean, it's coming back not insanely quickly, but much more quickly than it's spreading, right? I'll be overtaken in a second here. Yeah. So you still can't really use... Oh, it's spread over a chasm. That's like, you're not even... Oh, so these skeletons... Well... Are these... These aren't around most of the chasms, right? Are there plants around normally? No, they are just around everything. Okay. So I've learned Meteor Swarm. My first fire spell, I guess. Haste, huh? Oh, you have to hold it? Interesting. So, it seems to me that, like, there's kind of two categories of thing. Well, one way to categorize the things that happen in this game is like stuff that is done by exactly two opposed elements. For example, fire and water both have ways to deal with entropy, and I believe nothing else really does. So whichever plane you're in, you have access to one of these. And if you're not in water or fire, you have access to both if you want. So that's one. And then there's also, like, it seems, stuff that is done by half of the elements, like either all of the stable ones or all the unstable ones. Energetic, I think, is what they say. So, like, right, power production, you have life and fire, and air also does, although we obviously haven't seen that yet. And I don't think shadow does. Water certainly doesn't. Earth doesn't. So what is it that stable elements like water... I feel like these do logistics pretty well, right? Like water has fast belts and stuff, and earth has big chests and good grippers. So shadow probably does logistics well, I guess. And there's one thing that I know about what happens in shadow, which is the shadow version of a streamway. Which is kind of just like... It sounds interesting and challenging. The idea is, as far as I understand it, that they don't have a direction of flow. They just connect to every adjacent tile that's a streamway. And they act like one gigantic chest. So, like, if you ran this, you could put something in here and then pick it up here instantly. Very cool, right? The downside is that since there isn't a direction of flow, you can't ever have two adjacent shadow streamways next to each other with different types of things. You can only put one thing in one of these to get it out. It can only contain one kind of thing at a time, I think. But the stuff that's in that is through the whole extent of the streamway, which I assume is not called a streamway. So that's, like, yeah, so it seems like logistics is done well by the stable elements. And power is done by the energetic elements? Is it just power? What else does life do? Good question. I mean, it kind of seems like it is just power, huh? Everything you can build in life is for producing power, more or less. Or doing research. But of course you can research with every kind of element. So does anything have good, like... Is anything good at production in some way? I think every element is probably doing about the same stuff, right? You have a basic crafter, an advanced crafter, and hybrid crafters for when you mix with other elements. So none of them is really, like... Oh, and they all have, I assume, like, better collectors. You can get... We have better earth and life and water collectors. I assume at some point you can get better fire collectors. What else would an element produce? I mean, it's basically just the stuff in their crafters, right? Okay, interesting. I guess elements have passives as well. Let's think about those a little. Earth's passives are mostly like... Oh, did I mention the one... They make chests and grippers, yeah. So those are their logistical things. Earth's passives are basically making grippers better. Life's passives... I mean, they're making power better, right? Mana regeneration a little bit. to say, it seems like the stuff that makes life generators even more efficient just does not seem important because it's so easy to generate massive amounts of power with canopies. So I'm not sure why any of this stuff exists. Am I? Yeah. I'm like walking extra fast here because of streamways. I reported this bug to the dev earlier today, I think. And by the time you're watching this video, it's long been fixed. But I mentioned it. I saw it in a recent video. Well, I am. No, maybe I'm just this fast now because I've gotten a few movement speed upgrades. How fast am I with streamways? Wave dash, I mean. That's pretty fast. Yeah. So I'm not sure if it's actually fixed. I don't have the next patch. The dev said it would be fixed in the next patch, and I don't know if I have it. The dev's explanation for what was happening didn't quite match with my experience of what's happening here. They said it like stops checking. I don't know. It wasn't clear to me what they were even saying, really. So I guess we'll find out whether it's fixed. Presumably by the time you're watching this, it's fixed, because if it's still broken, I plan to report it again once I have the next patch. What was I even doing? I was musing about the things elements are good at. And what I might expect further from fire. And it seems like what I'll get is probably more power production. Ah, right. And then there's the opposed things that fire and water both do, which is deal with entropy. So what are the opposed things that life and shadow do, for example? Is there something? It seems like for symmetry there kind of should be. But I don't really see it. Like, life isn't doing anything but producing power. And we believe from the element theory of power, 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 that there's not really any power over here. So it could be that the fire-water entropy connection is unique. I don't know. Like, what I really ought to do is just immediately set up a better fire research area, right? Because I've done the absolute basics here. I can research up to Adept with just that one altar being fed a couple of little things. But as soon as I start building this stuff and wanting fire prisms, like, this space is going to feel really cramped. I'd like to get the fire research for dealing with rifts. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think it basically consumes power to close a nearby rift, and it's a ton of power, but we make a ton of power on Earth, so it shouldn't, on life, so it shouldn't be a problem. I guess I should also automate grippers. Is this Earth? It is, right? Yeah. But, like, why am I... Okay, maybe this is my little salt mall. Because I'm not going to need grippers for fire research. And I'm not doing any more Earth research. Someday I will. I'll be, like, doing the Earth plus fire research here, Caldera Crucible. Who knows what this is? So I'll need earth prisms as well for that, of course. But I don't know. I do want to make more, like, because grippers are the main thing left that I'm not. Well, I don't know. Roots. Oh no, I need to automate roots, don't I? And my slab thing is a giant disaster. What's even happening here? There's a pedestal to take it to this, I see. This doesn't really help. Well, okay, I guess what I should do is undo that. And have a streamway of slabs here. Out of grippers. And turn this into both undergrounds. Oh, but mana roots take elemental life. I'm gonna have to make that too. God, everything's such a nuisance. Okay. I mean, there's life somewhere around here, I'm sure. I don't remember the details. So, this, I guess, is one thing that I'm doing. Building my undergrounds. And then the roots need elemental life shipped in here. Oh, there's some right by the portal, isn't there? I don't necessarily want to touch that and risk spreading ether into the life plane and near the portal. There's a lot happening there. More earth. Earth everywhere. Makes sense. We're on the plane of earth, of course. But I know I found some life somewhere. This looks like some. Yeah. Oh! What? But I didn't touch any of these mode fields. That's not supposed to be allowed, is it? Huh. More earth over here. Yeah. And up here. Well, okay, I'll leave this alone, I guess. You can have this area. I'm not fighting over some life and fire. Although those are the two things that are scarce-ish on this plane. let's look south, I guess. Okay, great, great, great. Some new research. Oh, it's my reach. It's not the fire research. Here's some. That's not too far. Got everything? Alright, so a couple of verdant collectors ought to produce a fair amount of elemental life. Plenty for crafting roots. Where are my verdant collectors? I started... Here's some. Get a bloom down, I guess. Yeah, it's just a... Okay, that makes sense, because I did just touch a new mode field. That should be allowed. And I bet it'll expand to cover this eventually. I'm hoping that by the time that happens, I'll understand how to close these. And I believe I can route like streamways through it, no problem. It just sucks up power. Take this earth. Now, routing mana roots through this, I'm not sure how that's going to work. Well, maybe now is a good time to find out, right? So let's say, oops. Let's say I ran a mana route through this entropy. To here. And I put down, I don't know, a couple chests and a gripper, and I filled this up with earth. Yeah, it seems perfectly happy. Its power is being moved through entropy, but the building itself is not in entropy. Whereas I imagine if I did this, it can't work because it's in entropy. And if I do this, suddenly it can. Okay. So that's what entropy does. It stops buildings that want power from having power if those buildings are within the entropy. Okay, got it. Yeah, I probably want this anyway, right? Send power out this way. So sending this stuff through this new rift, not a problem. As long as I don't build too close to it. And maybe this already is too close to it. I don't quite know how big these things get. I should in principle know, because it should be the same as what was on the plane of life, but I didn't get out my calipers, right? I don't know exactly how big it was. It's interesting also that it seems like it's not circular, right? It's shaped like the rift. It expands a certain number of tiles from this kind of curved shape. Okay, cool, I guess. So this area here is probably a bad place to make the elemental life, because it's going to be in Rift City. Now I'm actually out of roots. What a bummer. And I'm pretty much out of elemental life as well. Well, that's what biorhythm is for, I guess. I can power any of these buildings temporarily to actually get stuff out of them. And then throw in the power afterward. Go into mana debt, of a sort. Quarry collectors, yeah. I still have no idea what a nice layout for these is. Like, this old Faithful seems pretty serviceable, doesn't it? Okay, so let's... I'm out of streamways. That ought to do me for now. Whee. Yeah, you can go extra fast as long as you as long as you go in a direction other than where I actually want to go. Okay, that should be the fire prism research, right? Ooh, and now we can see all the things we might somehow someday learn with fire before mastery, which is super late. Yeah, so all the rest of this takes fire prisms. But okay, Incineration Spire. This is the thing that destroys rifts, or seals them, or whatever. Ingots. What is an ingot analogous to in one of the other? I don't know. I mean... maybe it's kind of like a mana leaf? Or a reaching grip? No, reaching grippers we got earlier, right? This is interesting, actually. The research trees, and this is, I'm sure, on purpose. The research trees for the elements that you have on the life plane look quite different to the fire stuff. Right? You get a number of techs before you get to the adept research that are like on the way and that are building up the basics for you to do stuff. But once you get to fire, they know you've handled the life plane. You've got life mastery, right? And so you maybe don't need that basic stuff. You can just get straight into building prisms. Okay, makes sense. So I don't know what ingots. I mean, like they're gonna be. Maybe they're like granite, I guess. Probably an intermediate material. And maybe leaves. Yeah, they're leaves. That's what they are. Okay, leaves slash granite slash, I guess, sand. Probably. This just lets you build ingots. Nothing special. Yeah, so this is Incineration Spire. Scour. Yeah. So this, I'm guessing, turns power into ether? Oh no, it says, look, turns, this is like a binary, but for ether. It turns 3 fire into 6 ether instead of 3. I see. Sealed rifts leave a moat field behind? That seems good, I guess. Rifts take additional damage per Incineration Spire damaging it. Okay. Haste. There's a spell that just increases your movement speed overall. Whereas Wave Dash doubles it. This increases it by only 50%, but yeah, this seems way easier to use than Wave Dash. Staying on the streamways is difficult. Lava generators output more power for each lava generator. So this is the quadratic scaling, although it seems, well, not sure yet. This is Fire Mastery, right? Okay. These are better collectors for fire. Yeah, and predictably, we do actually want to automate fire wires and lava barriers. Not a big surprise. Thermal tower, so these are the, like, substations, I assume. Okay. I mean, none of this looks too hard, and it looks reasonably useful. Incineration Spire is kind of where I want to go first, so I have, you know, the answer to what to do about these rifts, which currently is still a question. I need my elemental binders. I don't want to build here. I mean, I kind of do. I want to seal this rift, right? Don't be a baby. I don't own any. I own 1 elemental binder. Let's build 3 more. Sure. 4 should be plenty for just making mana roots. It would be nice if I had these binders automated. They take forever to build. And I never did bother automating them in the old plane. So I could just build right here. It's probably fine. My brain's starting to turn off, though. I need to get the earth involved. Well, I need to turn the earth into... I guess I can do that up here. Oh, I never finished running this because I ran out of roots, right? So I need to grind up the earth into salt. Why do I have all this elemental water? I don't remember. When did I pick that all up? Huh. It's not a big problem or anything. Okay, grindstone's finally coming up, right? Yes. Missed. There we go. So it would be nice to start using fire for power distribution. But I'm not really there yet. Oh god, I need more grippers. Quick, while I'm not doing anything else. I guess this setup does not really lend itself to nice, smooth streamways, does it? When I had reaching grippers, I could just plop those in here and run the path like this. But now I can't actually reach that the way I've got this set up. Why am I trying to do this with so little space? The space isn't worth anything. Just delete all this garbage, please. The mana blooms can stay. Everything else has got to go. At least I think they can stay. Yeah, like this is fine. This doesn't even use more space. It's just better. These are closer to the bank, but the mana blooms are what's kind of dominating the space anyway. Let's actually do it like this. Just so there's plenty of room for a convenient underground to get power in. Although I guess that's happening on this side, isn't it? Don't have any mana roots. Alright. Trying to do this by hand. Here we go. Biorhythm. Give me some earth. Hello? Oh, I guess I kind of have to be quick. Because otherwise this is going to sail right past the grinders, isn't it? Okay, there's some salt. Not a ton, but some. These are marked as salt grindstones, even though they don't... It's interesting. It's just they're marked as what they most recently made, I guess. So this actually should basically stop here. Because I'm not running the motes of earth down here, I'm just running ether. I guess I'll run the binders in like here, using this kind of unnecessarily cutesy approach. Go down. There you go. Like that. So now, aside from the backlog here, I believe I have an input lane that is both of these things. I don't even need this. I can just pull that up. So if there were salt coming down here, it would be merged onto this lane. That would give me elemental life that I could run back to the root factory at last. Which is just... This is all pointing backwards! Fuck you! Oh. Have slabs here, so what I need is a greenhouse, which I don't think I can even make. I can for some reason. Here it is. I have a small handful of elemental life left over, I guess. Greenhouse here. I don't have any more grippers. I ran out again. No, that was right. Because now I could put like an earthen gripper here, although I don't think I really need to. I meant a titan gripper. You don't need to make that many mana roots, right? Even just like a normal salt gripper pair ought to be fine. Put 3 of them over here, why not? I'm out of roots to actually connect this junk up. Okay, okay. But I believe all the buildings are down. No, not day caller. There isn't any salt. Oh, yes. This is wrong. These are the motes of Earth. These shouldn't be what's going over there. This should be. Pick it up. Okay, now I can finally start building a small number of roots. Okay, you know what, for the moment, this is... Okay, right, biorhythm isn't the way to do this. What I want is a mana flare, right? The range on mana flares is so bad. I guess it's fine. This is a fine stopgap. Just to get a little bit of stuff. Enough to let me make more roots. I need 3. Okay, so that should start filling my coffers up with roots, right? You guys grind this all up into salt. The salt comes down here. So embarrassing to be using Mana Flare when I have, like, a power network with, like, 10 bazillion power. Actually, this one I could have just connected... No, I don't have roots, right? That's the problem. I don't have any roots. Okay, so this is making elemental life. Over here... Roots are finally going out, although this gripper is swamped, isn't it? I need several, really. Or at least a reaching gripper. Okay, knock it off. Go away. Is just a reaching gripper good enough to keep up, would you say? I assume, well, I have very little elemental earth actually coming in, so maybe it's fine. I should have more than this, though. What happened to it all? Oh, I pointed this the other way so I could harvest it by hand. But then I didn't actually do that. Okay, that's fine. These guys will work out their backlog now. Well, they won't actually, because production keeps pace with the basic rippers. Alright, I'll empty it out myself. And build some roots by hand. now we're back to being power plant kiddos. Or plant power kiddos also, I guess, haha. So this is the kind of thing Verdant Streamways would help with, right? If the streamway itself conducted power. Really? Why isn't this part? Oh, I didn't. I thought I had connected this, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, now this is all powered. I could take away the mana flares, but I mean, it's free power, right? Oh, this is the worst. This merge is so bad. Okay, well, so don't do it then, dummy. Just do this. And we're producing. This is actually kind of a cute use. No, it isn't. I was thinking, oh look, now I can output to the inside and outside lane with the same collector, but of course it's producing to the bottom lane above it and the top lane below it. But those are both the inside lane because the streamway flipped here. So it isn't really helping. It's just these guys are outputting the inside lane, and these guys are inputting the outside lane. Inside, outside. I forget if I said it wrong. Yeah, you, I don't think I care about. Did this just open? Because I just ran routes through here, and this wasn't here. I think it just opened. You just need a small number of routes. There you go. Now you don't need the mana flares anymore. You, I believe, actually are powered, right? Yeah. Okay, a big backlog on this stuff apparently means these two grippers are not keeping pace. Well, no. They are. It's the output grippers that are not doing a good enough job. Do I have any big chests? I can make one. Is that even going to help? I don't know. I envisioned multiple grippers dumping into this thing. Into a big chest. There it is. So you can't do this. But I could do this. And then like another reaching... Oops. That's not what I wanted. My inventory is full. I knew that. Just get rid of this burrow root. I mean, this. There's some expensive stuff, but like it's just taking up space, really. I don't have the tools to make more of it or to make use of what I have. How did I get leaves? I don't even know. So, where's that big chest I just built? Did I delete it? I don't know, it's gone. Where's my elemental earth? Here it is. Is that not what I need? I need more salt? So this chest, arranged like so, can handle 2 of these grippers. I could have arranged it the other way and used a Titan gripper, but this is fine. Okay, so the grippers are now exactly, or just barely above, keeping up with production. So we're emptying this as fast as it can build. I doubt that we're filling it as fast as it can build once all the backlog clears, but it's possible. Because these grippers are actually, they're exactly keeping up with its input demand, right? So it's a question of, is this keeping up with the demand? I guess it probably is. Okay. Right, now I can build the roots to connect this area up, which I think I just needed this. Because you're on the root network, so are you, and this gets the bloom going. Yeah, although... when I take this down, you're gonna stop, right? Yeah. I need one more root here. Alright, roots are back online. Why am I still here, man? It's been 2 hours. I gotta go. I don't have to go. I'm just, like, I don't want many hour-long videos where I don't accomplish anything. A 1 hour video where I don't accomplish anything feels better. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.